What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Noluckadded podcast, the podcast for young entrepreneurs. Listen, man, I'm not going to waste no time. We're going to jump right into the episode, but I do need you to do me a favor. If the content in this episode, if it does anything for you, right? If it helps you in your business, if it helps you in your life, please share it out. Please leave a review and make sure that you subscribe. That's all I need. Let's jump into the episode.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Noluckadded podcast. This is the live recording. Every Monday, every Friday, we going live with the podcast. Now, check this out. You got to actually subscribe to the podcast. Now, this is why you need to subscribe. You need to subscribe because Tuesday through Thursday, we talking heavy, right? Tuesday through Thursday, we talking heavy, and I'm not doing no lives. I'm not recording it. It's only on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, those platforms. So with that being said, if you get any value from this episode at all, if you get anything from this, all I need you to do is go subscribe to the podcast. I'm not here to sell you nothing, right? I'm not here to get you to buy a product. I'm not trying to get you through no funnel. We're not doing none of that. Only thing I want you to do is go subscribe to the podcast if you get any value from this, and then share it to somebody who may need to hear it. Now, we're going to jump right into the subject, y'all. I don't like to waste no time on this podcast. The other day, right, about 2 days ago, I'm listening to this podcast called Impact Theory, right, by Tom Bilyeu. If you don't know who Tom Bilyeu is, if you're an entrepreneur, you should know who Tom Bilyeu is. Now, if you don't know who Tom Bilyeu is, you've probably been under a rock. It's all good, right? It's all good. Tom Bilyeu is the guy, one of the guys behind Quest Nutrition, right? He ended up selling Quest Nutrition for like some $1 billion, whatever. He's a billionaire, right? Got a lot of knowledge, but he has his own show called Impact Theory. I forgot what he used to call it. He's interviewed, the greats, David Goggins, all the way down, right? He's interviewed anybody you can think of. If you're not familiar with him, get familiar, please. Right? Get familiar, please. And as a matter of fact, as an entrepreneur, y'all, we gotta stay in student mode. Got to, right? Got to. Like, it's a non-negotiable. Like, you gotta always be learning, be seeking knowledge every single day, because you can never know enough in this space. You can never know enough, right? Like, never. There's never a time when you can know enough. Business is always changing. It never stays the same. And for those who stay the same, lose, right? So I'm listening to this podcast, right? And he's giving a keynote. I don't remember what conference he's speaking at, but there was this theme that kept coming up over and over and over and over and over. And that theme was clarity, right? Having clarity, 100%, 1,000, 1,000,000% clarity. Now, why is that important, right? Why is it important for us as entrepreneurs to have clarity, right? For us to really know what it is we're chasing. And furthermore, listen to this, not just know what we're chasing, but why we're chasing it. It's very important because as entrepreneurs, y'all, we get so deep into the work. We get so deep into the day-to-day processes. We get so deep into the building that at some point we forget why we even started this whole thing. At some point, like, we get so far down the journey, we build and every single day. We waking up, we grinding, we going after it. We putting in the hours, we putting in the work, we being creative. Somewhere along the lines, things get a little blurry. Right? They get a little bit blurry. Now, this is just my experience in these 3 years of full-time entrepreneurship. They get a little bit blurry, and you forget why you actually started. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going down the whole motivational, oh, you got to know your why. That's not what I'm talking about. There was a reason why you jumped into entrepreneurship. There was a reason why you decided to start a business. I don't know what that reason was for you. I remember why I jumped into it, right? I remember why I left the military. I was doing a program at George Washington High School here in Indianapolis. I was doing a program every single Monday, and I knew that I wanted this program to grow. I knew that I wanted to be able to go speak to the kids. I wanted to be able to pour into the kids, teach entrepreneurship, all these different things, right? So one of the reasons why I jumped into entrepreneurship was so I could have the freedom to do that. Now, here's the crazy part about that, right? Like I said, when you get so deep into the business, sometimes you forget why that was. And now you've created all these different things that you want now. Nothing wrong with that. But are you still true to your core of why you started what you started? And I'm going to be honest with you. I had drifted away for a second. I had drifted away. Now, the pandemic happened. Things happened, right? There's things that happened that was outside of my control. But at the same time, I still drifted away from that purpose. And once I, like, in this space right now, like I said, this was about 2 days ago when I'm listening to this podcast and it hit me. I realized that was one of the reasons why I started, and I need to reconnect with that. The funny thing is, one of the teachers that I was working with, she actually hit me up that day. Actually, she hit me up that day. It was like, yo, I need you back in the classroom. It made me think of why I started the journey. It wasn't, now listen, of course we got to make money. We got to do it, right? We're trying to build generational wealth. We're trying to do things for our family, our kids. Like, we got to make money, but that's not why I started. That's not why I started. Now, I came up with some things as we got into the dream, you know, because when you first start something, you don't really know what you want necessarily. Like, you might have an idea, but once you start on the thing, now you can see I can see clearly now. You know what I'm saying? You can see things clear now, right? You can you can see like the playing field. So then you start coming up with these other parts and adding these other things into the dream, and that's cool. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But do not forget that you cannot move with all of you if you're not clear on what you're moving for. We're not even talking about goals right now. Because here's the crazy part that I realized. I am very clear about what my goals are right now. I'm very clear. It is clear as day. Right? My goals are clear as day. But what I was not clear on, the parts that I was not clear on, is what that looks like 5 years, 10 years from now. I battle with how far I want to go, how far I want to take it. Do I want to take this business? Of course, we got to get to a certain point, right? But do I want to take this business to the point where it's like Zappos, Nike, like all these? Do I want to take it there? Or do I want to take it to a certain point, sell it, and then acquire other businesses? Do I want to take it to a certain point, sell it, and become an investor? What do I really want? Listen, we got to learn to ask the right questions to ourselves, let alone other people. We got to learn to ask the right questions to ourselves. We got to say to ourselves, what is it that I really want? What is it that I'm really chasing? And why am I chasing it? And then when you get that answer, ask yourself why again. Then when you get that answer, ask yourself, they call this going 7 layers deep. Shout out to my wife. She put me onto this book where they were talking about going 7 layers deep. And I've been doing this ever since. Why? That's one of the most powerful questions you could ever ask yourself. Just one word. Why? Why do I want it? Okay, I want it because of this. But why? Oh, because of this. But 3 levels. Why? And just keep going until you get 100% clarity. So here's an example. Y'all know I give military. I was in the military 8 years. I was indoctrinated, right? Like I'm still militant to my core. I ain't too far away from it, right? Like I was in the military basically my whole adult life, right? So all my experiences really come from that experience. Check this out. We used to when we would shoot with like laser target, like with the laser scope. Dang, I can't even listen. Listen, it's been 2 years. Laser scope, right? We would have a scope. We'll mount that scope on top of our M16, M4, whatever, right? Whatever you were shooting with. We will mount that on top, and then we would have to go to what's called a grouping or zoning range, right? A range where you literally have to nail in that specific scope to your eyes. Right? To your eyes. So if somebody else had that scope, if somebody else had that, you couldn't necessarily hit a target with that. Even if you were looking at the target, you had to zero it in. That's what it's called. Zero it in. You had to zero it to your eyes. In order to clearly see the target and hit the target, you had to zero it to your eyes. Here's the crazy part. They would give us a certain amount of rounds. We would go out there, we would shoot at this paper target. Right? And you would think you would be nailing this target. You looking right in the middle. Bop, 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 bop. Hear what I'm saying? I'm not talking about shooting. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm talking about entrepreneurship right now. Hear what I'm saying? You would think that you hitting them targets. You didn't put 10. You feel like you put 10 right on the target. And after they got done, after everybody got done shooting, ceasefire, you will go to that group, to that target, and your shots will be everywhere. Because you are not zeroed in yet. There was no clarity yet. And that's what we do in entrepreneurship, especially starting off. We get to shooting, bop, 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 like we just going, bop, 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 and we having some success. We hitting the target. Like my shots were on the target. They weren't in a group. That's the problem. Because if you're shooting against the enemy and you shooting one in the shoulder, one on the leg, that dude might get away. Right? That person might get away. So then we would have to go back. They would make some adjustments. They'll make some adjustments to your scope. They adjust that mug. Bop, bop, bop. They're getting you right. And they would even do this with iron sights. This wasn't just with the scope. They would adjust it. They would figure out, okay, here's the adjustments. You need to go 3 to the left, 2 up, da. Right? And then we would shoot again. Bop, 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 bop. And now they're in a tighter group, but still they're not tight enough. Right? This is about the journey of entrepreneurship. Year 1, I'm the person, but like my shots are not in the group. Year 2, they get a little bit tighter. Year 3, I'm finally zoned in. And here's the crazy part about that. Every single time you go out there, you had to re-zero. Every time. So if you zeroed 3 months ago, you got to go back and zero 3 months later. And it's the same thing in business, y'all. Every so often, we got to go back and revisit what it is we want and why we want it, because it changes. It changes. Where we were when we started this business, we were in a whole different space. Now that we're in this space, we can see the level, we can see the playing field and recalibrate our goals, recalibrate our vision, recalibrate where we're really trying to go. And that's what we got to do. We always got to be refining, because if we don't, I talked about this a couple episodes ago, if we don't learn to recreate ourselves, we lose. We got to recreate ourselves daily. This is a refining process. This is a refining process. Every single day, day in and day out. Now, about once a quarter, once every other month, we need to really sit down and regain clarity. At the top of this year, we got to regain that clarity. Matter of fact, before the new year comes, you might want to do it the 31st, the 30th, 31st, I don't know. But we got to regain clarity and then put a plan together to get that part solved. Because it's going to change again, and that's okay. We're evolving into this entrepreneurship process. There's never a time where it's just all figured out, we got it, it's all good. There's never a time where that happens, from my experience. Even hearing Tom Bilyeu speak. Tom Bilyeu, like I said, he's a billionaire. He's even talking about how he got to continuously regain clarity. Right? Always. It's a never-ending process of regaining that clarity, especially in business. Especially in business. Like I said, this is just from my experience. But there's never a time where my vision hasn't evolved. There hasn't been a time yet where it hasn't evolved as long as we keep going. Right? As we keep going, month in and month out, things start to change. You start to see the game a little bit different. And now you can come up with real game plans. But it's just like that example I just gave you about zeroing in your target. When you first start, your shots are everywhere. But as you gain clarity, your shots get a little bit tighter and a little bit tighter, and now they're on target. And now they're on target. When we first started our business, y'all, we were selling everything. We had no niche at all. There was no niche to it. People didn't really know what to come to us for. We didn't, like, we had everything. We were selling printers. Like, we were selling microphones. Whatever we found, we sold. We were selling shoes, pants. I still got clothes in the closet that we bought that we never sold. Because we didn't have clarity. We didn't know what we was doing. We were just doing. We were just trying to build something. And then we got a little bit wiser. Okay, this shoe thing's starting to take off a little bit. But we had the dress shoes. We had the Tic Tacs. You know what I'm saying? We had the boots. We had every type of shoe. Listen, in my old garage, you will probably find skates, moon boots. Like, you will find all type of stuff before we got rid of it. Like, you would just find all type of shoes. And then we niched down a little bit more because we had clarity. And not only did we have clarity, we had results. Yeah. Not only did we have clarity, we had results. We let our results speak for it. Because honestly, if the other products were selling as fast as the shoes were selling, we probably would have sold the other products, and now you don't get RIB Athletics. Now you got RIB Electronics. You know what I mean? I don't know. But we looked at our results. The same way I said, oh man, listen, I got to take a drink of water because that was a fire example. I'm not going to lie to you. That was a fire example. I'm not going to lie. That zone in the end thing, because like I said, you get a certain amount of rounds and then you got to go pull that paper and see your results. Okay, then you make the adjustments from there. And that's how you get the clarity that we're talking about today. Some of us, we lack clarity because we're trying to do too many things. We're doing one thing today, the next thing tomorrow. Nobody knows what to come to you for. You sell this, you sell that. You sell everything. Now, when people are looking for, on these platforms that we're on, the people that are looking for these specific type of shoes, they come to us because they know that we sell athletic shoes. So whenever they're looking, let's say for a Brook, right, which is a type of running shoe. Whenever they're looking for that, they know that we got it. And they know that because we niched down. We had clarity. But like I said, the only way that we get clarity is as we go down the journey, we tighten it up. Every so months, we tighten it up. We were getting a certain result. I had to look, right? I had to look at the results. I looked at the results and the results said Destry. There's something here with this shoe thing that you're doing. There's something here. Now, like I said, were we selling the other products? Absolutely. But the shoes was moving way faster. The rate, in fact, where the shoes were selling, way faster. So then we said, uh-oh, there's something going on here. There's something going on. There's something going on. And the reason why a lot of us were not seeing the adjustments, hear what I'm saying, please. The reason why we're not seeing the way we need to adjust, because we're doing too much. We're doing too much. One day we doing this, next day we doing that. Right? You selling shoes one day, you got the Kush on the other day. Listen, I ain't mad at you. Listen, the Kush might be fine. I'm not mad at you. But all I'm saying is, what do I come to you for? Do I come to you for the shoes? Do I come to you for the clothes? Or am I coming to you for... Let me know. Let me know. But that zeroing range, y'all, it taught me something. It taught me that when you first start off, your shots are going to be all over the paper. It's going to be all over the target. But just like on that range, we shoot those shots. We go get our results. We look at those results. Our sergeants, they showed us how to make our own adjustment. We will make our adjustments, and that shot group will get tighter. And then we got to make some more adjustments, and it'll get a little bit tighter. And then, hold on. Check this out. And by the second time, if it's not super tight, they tell you your fundamentals are off. They don't want to hear me today. Y'all hearing what I'm telling y'all? Hit the like button. Somebody hit the smash the heart button if I'm cooking, please. Let me know. They will tell you that your fundamentals is off. Now, here's the crazy thing. I said this on the podcast a couple of days ago. If you're not subscribed to the podcast, shame on you. I've been telling you to subscribe to the podcast. Right? I've been telling you. I've been telling you to subscribe. The fundamentals always work, y'all. No matter where you are on this journey. And I'm only, like I said, 3 years. I'm not nobody's coach. I'm not nobody's guru. Don't talk to me like that. Right? I'm none of that. But what I'm telling you is that often we got to revisit what worked, the fundamentals, the foundational stuff that you do in your business that gets you to a certain level. But here's the crazy thing about that. If you're not tracking your results, you won't even know what the fundamentals are. Corey says the same thing he teaches his athletes. The fundamentals. I learned this last year. I started studying investment. I couldn't do nothing else, right? I was in the house. I started studying investments. And I learned that there's different type of investors. There's fundamental investors. Then there's like hype beast investors. Then there's traders, but let's talk about the fundamental and the hype beast, right? Because some of us in business, we hype beasts. We go wherever we see a bag, we go in there. We see a bag and we got to go. Oh, snap, the shoes is, okay, well, I'm selling shoes. Okay, now I'm selling apparel. Okay, some of us are that. And then some of us are the fundamentals. And here's the thing about the fundamentals. In the beginning, the fundamentals start off very tiny. They start off small. They start off real small, right? But over time, as a fundamental investor, you get the biggest returns. Same thing in business, y'all. Over time, as fundamental, I know you want the big results right now. I know it. If I'm telling you it's going to take you 3 years to get somewhere, you probably like, yo, I don't want to do it. But I'm telling you right now, fundamentals. Year 3, we going into year 3 in April. The trajectory that we're on right now is compared to year 1 is crazy. But what if I was that hype beast entrepreneur? The one that want to go from this. So many people made suggestions. Desha, you start selling this. Desha, you start selling that. Sell this, sell that, sell this. And then I'm looking at the list at what sells the most, like on eBay and all these different things. And I'm saying, yo, the bag is over there. But what we doing right now, I got to do this for a certain amount of time to really see a result. Some of us, we got shiny object syndrome. It's okay. I've suffered from it before. It's okay. But the fundamentals. So when we would go to that range, hear what I'm saying, because I'm about to end this. When we would go to that range, we wouldn't have clarity because we had sights, meaning your scope, your iron sights, whatever you're looking through to get to the target. We had sights that were not zeroed into our eyes. So if Corey was on the range right now, or Jasmine was on the range right now, and she shot, and she's hitting the target dead on, if I took her weapon, I probably, like 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be off because her eyes are not my eyes. This is how we start our journey, right? This is how we start our journey. We're not clear. We haven't zeroed in. Then we get a little further down. We shoot the target. Bop, bop, bop. It's all over the paper, but it's not in that center where we really want it. Because in the Army, the center signifies that you killed the target. That's what the center signifies. This area right here. You don't want to be shooting in the shoulder, in the legs. No, you want this right here. So then we would shoot that, It's all over the paper. We looking, we make the adjustments. Hear what I'm saying? I'm not talking about shooting. I'm talking about entrepreneurship. I'm talking about entrepreneurship. I'm talking about gaining clarity. We will shoot the target. After everybody done shooting, come pick up the target. They will come down the line. 3 up, 3 to the left, 3 to the right, whatever. To get us on that center. We will shoot again. Pop, 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 pop. So it's closer. You're a little closer to the goal, but it's still off. Just a little bit. It's still off. You will go back. Bop, 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 bop. And if it's still off, hey, Destry, your fundamentals, your breathing is off. I see, because you got 2 in the center, you got 1 up, your breathing is off. Oh, Destry, listen, what, are you looking through the iron side? Are you looking through your fundamentals? Matter. Check this out. They had a range for you to go back to the fundamentals. It was the fundamentals range where they will go back and you ain't shooting nothing. You just going back and you're relearning how to shoot. You're relearning how to put your elbows. You're relearning how to adjust your shoulders. And here's the thing. I've had to do that several times in business where I got to go back to a book that I read, where I got to go back to some notes that I took, where I got to go back into my coaching group and learn some new things or learn the same thing over. I got to learn the fundamentals again. Because here's the thing. Once you have success, once you have any type of success, I'm not talking about ultimate success, any type of wins, you start getting cocky a little bit. You start getting cocky a little bit. You start feeling yourself a little bit. You start to smell yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're smelling good. You're smelling real good. But I had to remind myself, because sometimes when you're starting to see that, now you're looking at the results all the time. Oh, if I did this and this happened. I had to go back to the fundamentals and say, Destry, don't forget the activity though. Don't forget the activity that got you there. Don't forget to stay on top of your numbers. These are the fundamentals. Don't forget that every time you get whatever type of money, you need to be taking 40, 30%. If you can do more than that and reinvesting it. Don't forget the fundamentals. Just because the money is flowing don't mean it need to go back, don't need to go back in. Just because it's flowing don't mean you need to start taking less and less and less and then splurging on yourself. The fundamentals are still there. And sometimes you got to go back to the fundamental range. And it's okay. I've had to do it. And here's what happens after you get back from the fundamental range. Bop, bop, you're right on target. So today, spend a little bit of time gaining clarity, asking yourself, going 7 layers deep. I told you my wife put me on to this. My wife was on personal development before I was even on it. She put me on, right? Ask yourself, what am I trying to do? What am I trying to build? And then go further. Why? And then when you get that answer, why? And then when you get that answer, why? Here's the thing that we got to learn, and this is what's missing from this society. We got to learn to ask ourselves questions, number one, right? And this works in relationships, this works in everything. And then challenge your own thoughts. Oh, snap. We got a legend in here. We got Cheeseboro. What's good with you, man? What is good with you? Listen, that's my old Army partner right there, man. I was just giving them some game on the range, bro. And you missed it, bro. You missed it. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy right there. Hold up. But anyways, hear what I'm saying. I didn't forget my whole train of thought. Cheesebro then came in. I didn't forget my whole train of thought. Somebody tell me, what was I talking? What was I saying? Somebody tell me before we end this. Oh, in this society. Hear what I'm saying. This is what's missing. Asking the right question, number one, right? Asking the right question, and then challenging your own way of thinking. And in business, if you don't do that, you're going to lose. Challenge your own way of thinking. You need to listen to one side and then go back and listen to a different side. I'm listening to this entrepreneur and they're saying, okay, approach it this way. And then I'm listening to this entrepreneur and they're saying, approach it that way. And then I come up with my own approach. But I'm never trusting my first thought. Never. Why? Because my first thought might be something stupid. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not, my IQ ain't off the Richter. You know what I'm saying? And even the smartest people keep wise counsel around them, right? Even the smartest people. So as entrepreneurs, we need to know that we know nothing. that we always need to revisit the fundamentals, that we always need to be regrouping, that we always need to be rezoning in on whatever target we're trying to shoot. Challenge your own thoughts. Challenge the things that you want. Because if you don't have a reason why you want something, I would challenge you to understand you either don't want it or you're avoiding the reason why you really want it. Some of us, we might find out, we got a little greed, and you know what I'm saying? We might be saying we doing it for the kids. We might be saying we doing it for the fam, but really we doing it for ourselves. Just ask yourself the questions, challenge your own thoughts, gain clarity. Clarity is, I know you heard results is the only thing that matters. I know you heard it, but where do the results come from? The clearer and clearer and the clearer that we get. And I told you at the top of this, this is something that we constantly got to do. This ain't just a one-off thing. This is something that you might have to do it day to day to day. I've been challenging my own thoughts. Like, why do you really want that? Do you really want that? What's your real thing? My whole thing I love about entrepreneurship, I want freedom. That's my thing, freedom. So what does that look like? Do I got to be a billionaire to get to freedom? No. So maybe that's not the goal. Maybe the goal is doing these steps to get free. So check this out. If you got any value from this podcast, go to Apple, Spotify, wherever you are. It's everywhere. It's like air. It's in the air. You know what I'm saying? It's everywhere. Go subscribe to the podcast. I need you to subscribe. If we're going to get on here and we're going to drop bars on Mondays and Fridays, I need you to subscribe to the podcast. Tuesday through Thursday, we talk heavy specifically on the podcast. We ain't doing no lives Tuesday through Thursday. And then Sunday, we got our Sunday sit down where we really go deep into some business stuff. On Tuesdays, we're going to talk about other business models. I think this Tuesday, I'm going to talk about something I learned from Will Smith's business model that we can apply to our business. Right? But Mondays and Tuesdays, we live right here. Listen, subscribe to the podcast. Noluckadded podcast. I forgot to even tell y'all what the podcast was called. Noluckadded, just like my name right here. Noluckadded podcast. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.